Hey, welcome to my session. I'm Caio Oliveira, Principal Multi-Cloud Architect. I'm part of the VMware Multi-Cloud Architecture and Strategy team. Normally, what I do on my day-to-day is help customers going towards the multi-cloud path. So I help them with the architecture, pretty much. So here, talking today about Azure VMware Solution, right? So it will be some slides, so I will try to get as much as I can, right? There's a lot of information. So Azure VMware Solution, for people that don't know, is a partnership between VMware and Microsoft, and we try to bring the best of both worlds, right? So we run our infrastructure, so our well-known SDDC on top of Azure infrastructure, right? So you have zero refactoring when you're migrating your workloads or running your workloads to the cloud, right? So you can use the same skills that your teams, as partners, as customers, are used to do in their data center. And of course, you get all the cloud economics, all the benefits with lower TCO comparing to the traditional on-prem data centers, right? So, good thing as well. So there's some commercial models. Azure VMware Solution is part of a VMware Cloud Universal, right? The idea here is not to explore that, but pretty much is a way for you to use the credits all over our offerings. What is that? I think the same thing that you have today in your data center. So you have vSphere, you can have NSX, you can have other products. Now you have the SDDC on top of Azure infrastructure, right? On top of Azure infrastructure, you're going to have the same components and our loved vCenter on top of it. The benefits as well, you're going to have access to all the Azure services. So all workloads that will be on top of AVS, Azure VMware Solution, can rely or can use those applications as well, right? Pretty much as all the other offerings that we have, AVS, the main use cases are application modernization. The main one for us, we tend see around 60 to 70% of the time as the primary use case is cloud migrations, right? So when you have a way to migrate from your traditional data center, or you're expanding your data center as well. So data center extension is also a big case. VDI, right? So running VDIs on AVS is also a big use case, and disaster recovery as well. So going more technically to talk about AVS, right? So AVS is pretty much available in the majority of the Azure regions. So all across the globe, so 29 regions plus GovCloud. So we have AVS available. As well, a lot of certifications here, ISO, HITRUST, CSA, so everything is there. And for you to get known to the current certifications, there are some links in the deck that you can use. At the moment, AVS has 3 different host types, right? So all those 3 host types differ in CPUs, in memory, as well in storage, right? Networking is pretty much the same. We have 2 dual 25 gig ports, right? Here will depend on the workloads and also the scalability that you need for your environment. Of course, there are different price costs here, and also the price differ region from region. What's good as well, we have a vCenter Trusted Cluster for AVS, so you can have 2 sites, and the witness node will be in a different AZ. So you have 3 different AZs. So if you lose an AZ, the other AZ we use. This is actually really good for special mission critical applications that you need to rely on a structure like that. Those are the current products and their license. So for AVS, we have vSphere 7 Update 3, right? vCenter is standard, vSphere Enterprise Plus, and vSun Enterprise. For NSX, we run on AVS currently the NSX 3.2.2 Advanced, and you have as add-on included the HCS Enterprise, and you can have as well as an add-on the SRM 853, 8503, right? everything on that. So all the platforms updated. You have a link here that you can look at better, right? Here is really interesting, right? So how you connect your AVS using Azure terminologies. Azure call it private cloud. So when I talk about AVS private cloud or SDDC, it's pretty much the same thing, right? So here you have the ability to what? Connect your AVS NSXT network segments where all the workloads will land. You have a way to connect to Azure infrastructure, and of course, with that and relying or even internet via VPN or using Azure direct connectivity, that's called express route. You have a way to also connect to your data center. Here, you create what they call express route using the global reach. So the router that is backing AVS will connect to the router on Azure that will allow you to connect to or Azure native networks or your data center as well, right? One important thing, ATX Enterprise is included in the AVS subscription, right? So people don't know, ATX is the migration tool that we have, really reliable, really easy for you to migrate your workloads to the cloud, right? Here, there are some different features and components. So if you have only the advanced license, you're gonna have pretty much like, you can migrate as a bulk, or live migration. Live migration or vMotion, you do one by one, right? When you go bulk migration, you can do more in parallel, but you need to shut down and power up the VMs when they do the migration, right? In the enterprise, you have the combination of both, right? So is what we call replication-assisted vMotion, which is a good tool as well. And there are other interesting things, especially if you are looking for migrating more stuff and you have mobility group, traffic engineer, that you're gonna leverage the ATX Enterprise version. There's a ton of information on how to migrate to ATX, so guides as well. There's also ATX best practice, multi-cloud best practice guide. A little bit biased here because I wrote it together with the BU, but there's a lot of information there, especially if you are looking for cloud-to-cloud migrations and not only on-prem to cloud migrations, right? Regarding ARIA products, which are the ones that are supported with AVS, we have operations, so operations cloud or even like operations that you can leverage installing on-prem, starting on the version 8.2.6. Operations for logs, operation for networks, and automation, all are supported versions on AVS. So if you have, for example, your ARIA automation, so you have your templates, you're running in your on-prem. If you want to deploy then on AVS, it's supported and something that our customers are using. I mentioned one of the big use cases that we have currently is running VDI on top of AVS, right? You have actually two options, right? You have what we call Horizon on AVS, which only the SDDC portion will be managed by AWS. You have to run all the Horizon infrastructure, right? So everything related to installation, upgrading, everything will be on you. But if you want a more SaaS model, a DaaS model, what we call, that we're gonna leverage, that we're gonna use on top of native Azure, but we're gonna run the Horizon Cloud. So you're gonna be only creating the VDI, so you don't need to think about like upgrading the Horizon Cloud. Different models here, but the idea is pretty much the same. Talking about that, always when you go to the cloud, you have the shared responsibility matrix, right? When there are different parts of the environment that will be your responsibility or Microsoft's responsibility. Here is really important. All the support, sales, and operation will be run by Microsoft. If something needs to VMware to be engaged, Microsoft will directly engage with us, right? So here's pretty much all regarding physical infrastructure, security, hardware failures, the installation of all the components, NSX, vCenter, ATX. Those will be Microsoft's responsibility, right? Your responsibility will be what you normally do. You create the VMs, you install the applications, you secure them, you create the firewall rules, right? You install the guest OS, you protect the guest OS, install any third-party solutions. Those will be the responsibilities, right? And, well, I concluded well in time. So this here, you have a lot of information in not only our Tech Zone page, but also Microsoft page. There are a lot of white papers, a lot of guides that you can leverage to install AVS. I will be here if someone have more questions, and appreciate and thank you for joining my session.